Hello, Committee Chair Atterbury and members of the Maryland General Assembly's work group to address police reform and accountability in Maryland. I'm a 27-year-old data analyst living in the Able neighborhood of Maryland's 43rd Legislative District, and my name is John Smeaton. I'm asking you to push for legislation that would return control of Baltimore City's police department back to Baltimore City government. Under the current arrangement, Baltimore must rely on the Maryland General Assembly to pass legislation that would affect many of the rules that dictate Baltimore's police department. Despite funding the police department and appointing its commissioner, Baltimore has an unprecedented lack of control over its police compared to every other city of our size. As a result, the city has to rely on a group of people, the majority of whom don't live in Baltimore City, that only meet about a quarter of the year to make decisions on our police's policies. Given this, it is not surprising that Baltimore's police force suffers an unprecedented amount of corruption, as shown by the actions of the Gun Trace Task Force and the millions of dollars in lawsuits paid out annually to victims of police brutality. For all this corruption, the police give back historically high murder rates and a complementarily historically low 32% homicide clearance rate in 2019. While local control may not solve all of BPD's issues, we never hesitate to spend an additional dollar on new technologies, more patrols, or other things that police brass believe may make a difference. This policy would make the police force more accountable to the people of Baltimore, and it's worth us investing in. A few years ago, a group of young people stole my phone from me while I was leaving a polling place that I had just voted at. At that moment, I had to make the decision between whether I was going to call the police on this group of young black children or give up on getting back my phone. And by this point, I had known the names and stories of Freddie Gray, Eric Gardner, and Tamir Rice. I was worried what would happen if I called the police on the boys and one of them decided to run away, or maybe one of them fiddled with something in their pockets, or just looked suspicious enough to the cops. I knew my phone could be replaced, but these children's lives could not be. It's because of my lack of trust in the BPD that I was unwilling to call the police, and instead never got my phone back. Not only do I not trust the BPD's ability to catch a killer, I can't trust them to not kill a child who commits a petty crime. And having a city that has a lack of control over these things makes these issues worse. It's for this reason that I ask your work group to recommend and push legislation that returns control of Baltimore City's police department to the Baltimore City government. Thank you for my opportunity to speak.